right, this is the code needed for the mid-semester demonstration, and this is the Ruby controller. So what we're looking at right now is the start method, and that pretty much pulls the code from the inspector tool on the Unity engine, and we use that for the later methods. The play sound method is really just playing an audio clip that gets assigned to it from the Unity engine. It's a solo sound and it's not really noticeable. And then we have the update method, and this method just updates the game and character model with bits of information per frame. And what we're getting here is we're getting the player's input of the X value and the Y value. If a player pushes down on the W key, it'll put a +1 for the Y value, and they press the S key, it'll be a -1 for Y. A will be +1 for the, no, it'll be -1 for the X-axis, and D will be +1 for the X-axis. And let's see. And with this is just telling us which direction will be removed. Since it can never be truly be 0, we want to do an approximation. That way we know the very small value to use for which direction Ruby should be looking at whenever the player stops moving. And this is where Ruby would do certain animations depending on which direction she's looking in. So if she's looking in the X direction, it has a positive value here and a negative value here for Y. And that will show the direction she will be looking in. And then we have the invincible. Whenever Ruby gets hurt, she'll take no damage for a period of time. And the launch method, whenever you press down on the C key, it creates or instantiates a cog disk to that gets shut out from Ruby. She pretty much throws it in a certain direction. And the X key, this is where we want to be facing the frog NPC, Zombie. Whenever we're facing directly at him, we can press down the X key, and this will cause the text box to display. And that will display the text box, and we can set the timer to how long it will be displayed on the inspector tool. And the fixed update is very similar to the update function, but in this case, we're updating every instance where the previous instance of the fixed update is finished. That way we have a consistent gameplay time frame instead of just having staggers and inconsistencies. And the change health method is whenever Ruby picks up a health collectible, the strawberry, or whenever she gets hurt from the robot or damageable or the spikes on the ground. So if it's less than, if the amount is -1, then she'll get hurt and it'll trigger the invincibility time frame. But if it's a +1, then we increase her health. And also down here, this changes the UI of the health bar. If she gets hurt, it goes down by 1. If she gains health, it goes up by 1. And this is the method for creating the cog disk. Pretty much, we create it and we apply a force to it, and we throw it, and it calls Ruby to do the launch animation, and it plays a little sound.